Kim Kardashian has never been one to stay completely silent when it comes to the people she loves, especially when she feels their actions might have irreversible consequences. And in the latest documentary focusing on Kanye West, a stunning and emotional moment has surfaced, one where Kim herself warns him that he is on the verge of burning bridges so severely that he could one day wake up with absolutely nothing left. The scene is raw, it's heartbreaking, and it's shocking, not only because of what Kim says, but also because of the way Kanye reacts. The footage, captured during one of the most controversial chapters of Kanye's career, takes us back to 2018, a time when he was under intense public scrutiny, facing backlash for his statements and behavior, and grappling with the reality of his bipolar disorder. This phone call between Kim and Kanye, played in the film, provides an unfiltered glimpse into their private struggles. Kim's voice is shaken as she tells Kanye that she can't sleep, that she's been crying all day, and that what's happening feels like a never-ending bad dream. Anyone listening to that moment can feel the exhaustion, the helplessness, and the love in her tone. A woman torn between supporting her husband and fearing the fallout of his actions. She warns him that his increasingly dramatic choices are alienating the very people who once stood by him, reminding him that there are better ways to share his feelings and his truth without burning down the house around him. But Kanye, as always, pushes back with his own perspective. He insists he doesn't care about the music industry, doesn't care about the business world, and goes as far as calling himself a slave to the system. To him, his battle is about freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom from corporations, freedom from being boxed in. Yet Kim challenges that framing. She reminds him that working hard, that having obligations, doesn't make him a slave. It makes him successful, it makes him human, and it makes him part of an industry that helped build his legacy. And then comes the moment that has viewers talking. Kim warns Kanye that if he continues down this path, he will wake up one day and find himself with nothing left. It's chilling to hear because it's not spoken as an insult or an attack. It's spoken with love, with fear, with urgency, as if she's desperately trying to save him from himself. Kanye immediately rejects that idea, insisting that she should never put such a thought into the universe, never speak that possibility into existence. But Kim's warning hangs heavy in the air. And now, years later, audiences are left wondering just how prophetic those words might have been. The documentary doesn't shy away from showing the bigger picture. It explores Kanye's struggles with mental health, his highs of brilliance and creativity, and his lows of public breakdowns and controversial statements. Viewers see him questioning medication, admitting that he feels emasculated when controlled, and openly saying he would rather face death than live in a medicated haze. These are not easy confessions to watch, and they paint a portrait of a man caught between genius and chaos, freedom and self-destruction. Kim, meanwhile, is portrayed as both supportive and heartbroken. In clips, she breaks down, sobbing as she tells Kanye that his personality isn't the same as it was just a few years ago. It's a haunting reminder of how mental illness and unchecked behavior can change a person, and how those closest to them often feel like they're losing someone they once knew. But this isn't just about Kim and Kanye as a couple. It's also about the empire surrounding them, the music industry, the fashion world, the brands, the fans, and the media. Kanye's words and actions don't exist in a vacuum. Every controversial statement, every political stance, every impulsive moment has rippling effects, shaking his relationships with labels, companies, and longtime collaborators. Kim's warning about burning bridges isn't just personal. It's professional, financial, cultural. And when you look at where Kanye is today, stripped of certain deals, facing financial and social consequences, it's hard not to draw a straight line back to that very phone call. The reaction to this documentary has been explosive. Some people sympathize deeply with Kim, praising her for her patience and her bravery and trying to speak the truth to someone she loved, even when he refused to listen. Others focus on Kanye's pain, seeing a man fighting to maintain his independence and vision while battling a condition that complicates every decision. And of course, there are those who believe the film finally reveals the cracks in one of the most famous celebrity marriages of our time, cracks that eventually widened until divorce was the only path forward. For fans who have followed Kim and Kanye's relationship from the glamorous wedding in 2014 to the bitter split finalized in 2022, this moment is heartbreaking. It's a reminder that behind the glitz and the headlines, these are real people facing real struggles. Fame doesn't protect anyone from mental health challenges, from marital strife, or from the dangers of self-sabotage. In many ways, it magnifies it. The film also raises deeper questions. How do you support someone you love when they're in crisis? Where do you draw the line between standing by them and protecting yourself and your family? And perhaps most painfully, when do you accept that love isn't enough to save someone from themselves? Kim's wanting wasn't just about money or fame. It was about the fragility of everything Kanye had built: his art, his influence, his relationships, his family. To her, it was clear that the bridges he was setting on fire weren't just industry ties, but personal ones too. And when you look at the distance that now exists between Kanye and much of the Kardashian family, between him and many of his former allies, you can't help but feel that Kim saw this storm coming long before the rest of the world. This documentary, with over 6 years of footage condensed into little over an hour and a half, serves as a time capsule, a warning, a tragedy, and a study of what happens when the line between brilliance and breakdown becomes too thin to see. It's not just about celebrity gossip. It's about the cost of ambition, the weight of mental health, and the limits of love in the face of chaos. As audiences continue to dissect the film, one thing is certain: Kim Kardashian's warning to Kanye West is more than just a dramatic soundbite. It is the heart of a larger story about loss, resilience, and the dangerous allure of burning every bridge behind you. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.